Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Gilda Alvarez. I'm a CEO and founder of Waveform Data Solutions. I also have Gilda Alvarez.ai, which is a platform for helping bridge the gap in the community, especially in the area of data and AI. Today, we're going to talk about how to survive AI in the workforce. And I know this is a new trend. Everybody's talking about AI, but nobody really knows what it is. It's like a big Pandora box. And what I want to do is I want to reduce it to something that you can chew it, flavor, see the flavor, and realize maybe this is something that I can do and how to use it to become prepared for what is happening today. So really quick, I have a degree in MIS and computer science from the University of Central Florida. You can link with me. I'm also in the LinkedIn community, very strong. What I try to do with my profile and my branding is to try to show people what I've done in my career and how I've been able to become a database professional so that the Latino community can see themselves in me and eventually climb I call it the mountain of data and AI, or the summit of data and AI, because it is a mountain, and we want to make sure I tell you where to go, because it can get rough, and it's terrain that needs to be, we need to learn to navigate it. I also have Latinas in data mentoring. I mentor over 40 Latinas in the areas of data engineering, data analytics, and data science. So what is going on right now? So right now, it's a shock. Everybody is facing the shock, but we've been preparing for this for many years. From the Industry 1.0 to the 2.0, which is, when the steam, the electricity, my grandmother and your grandparents probably faced that, just like we're facing today, right? Suddenly, they were needing to go to the cities, because cities were where the electricity, where the power, the engines of productivity were being born. And from 94% farmers to 14% farmers in a period of 50 to 60 years. So this transition is what we're facing today. And the industry of computing became the foundation for what is today the 4.0 industry, the AI and data exchange. Because the reality is that data is the power, is the platform for AI, right? So I'm going to show you a video here. I try to make these things a little humorous so that people enjoy the change. Let me know if you can hear the sound. The galaxy stands at the dawn of a new era. From the deep within the neural networks of the cosmos, AI agents have emerged, transforming industries and challenging the role of human labor. Once mere tools, they now automate, create, and compete, reshaping economies and redefining the workforce. As their power grows, so does the uncertainty. Will they be partners in progress or rivals in the battle of jobs? The struggle for the future of work has begun. And I just wanted to give you that, a little bit of humor in it. But in reality, what we're going to talk about here is what we need to do to work together, okay? We have to worry about mastering our AI-proof skills, adapting and reskilling, focusing on the human-centric roles, and using the agents, people. Build a strong network and personal brand. And I will explain to you why that is the case. Okay? So let's talk about mastering AI-proof skills, right? What is it that AI is still not able to do that we are able to, which is our critical thinking and creativity. It has not yet become that creative. It's something within us humans that we have. And I think it's very God-given, blessed role of creation because we are at the image. Well, those who believe in God, we are the image of a creator. So we have that in AI will never have, right? So we need to embrace those critical thinking and creativity skills. We have to develop data literacy in AI. That is why I am here today. That is why you're seeing me today, because I understood 20 years ago when I started in the area of data, what the world was going to look like. And I wanted to make sure that I bring you that view, that window, so that you can understand why it's important to take this leap of faith and jump into this industry head on, right? We need to strengthen problem solving and adaptability skills. We have to focus on the human-centric skill that AI cannot replace. And we're going to talk about that. And we have to leverage the AI tools. It's not a threat, right? Some people want to give you that as a warning, just to generate more, what do you call those things that pick up your attention? But it is not. It is kind of like the creation of the calculator or the creation of the computer back in the days. You know, it is a big shift. We have to adapt, but it's not the end of the world, okay? Right. So adapt and reskill. I'm not sure if you guys have questions or you wanna, okay, we'll go for the questions at the end. So how do we stay ahead in the AI era? We have to embrace new technologies and trends, okay? I always say that I didn't plan to become a data professional. The profession came to me by accident. Why? Because I am very curious and I want to learn. So I volunteered. And when I volunteered, they sent me to training. And that was the beginning of the relational database systems back in the 90s. And maybe I started very young, by the way. So, and that's how I jumped into the area of data. Today, you have that opportunity because many people are not willing to jump into the mountain of data and AI. And it is maybe your opportunity to raise your hand and say, hey, you know, I want to learn about these new technologies. So we have to cultivate a growth mindset. And what I mean by that is, personally, as a data professional, I do 4 hours of learning weekly. This is every week. The new world, the future of the workforce is going to have to be somebody that is willing to grow constantly. So today version of Gilda, I always say, I started with Gilda 1.0, Gilda 2.0, 3.0. I am in Gilda 4.376, okay? And it's growing to 7.7 and 7.8 in the next few weeks. So it's a process of continuing improvement. So I have to continue and grow. I'm not gonna grow and become an architect in VMware tomorrow, but I can definitely learn a little bit that can take me there in 4 months or in 6 months. Depending on the path that I want to grow, I need to continue to learn and little things that are easy to digest, right? And that is what flexibility in adapting to industries is all about. I call it the human DevOps. In the IT world, DevOps is the culture of continuous improvement and continuous innovation. So me as Gilda 4 point blah, 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 which is probably has changed in the last 2 weeks, is going to grow next week too, right? And you can use tools like Coursera, Udemy. I have very specific tools that I guide their people into that are very focused in their path. So I happen to have a lot of knowledge of what careers, software, everything that works in the area of data and AI. And I guide people to very specific areas, right? And what is that the careers in high demand? Of course, we have AI and machine learning engineering. We have data scientists, we have cloud and DevOps, cybersecurity, product managers, data analytics, data engineering. I mean, I can go, the list is very long, but the paths are very unique and they begin with very fundamental things. So I focus on that so that I can guide them into the different areas. And focusing on the human-centric roles is very important because it's not all about learning. And I'm going to tell you in my own experience, because I've been an engineer for 25 years, I had to learn to adapt to these things very late in my career because I didn't have to. I didn't have to lead teams. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. All I had to do is do my individual work. And as I wanted to grow, I realized that the only way to grow was to become a leader and to become and begin to build bigger solutions and architect different things. And that's how I was able to grow in my career. So that was the stepping stone that as an engineer, sometimes we face, and we need to adapt and learn these human-centric roles, right? Leadership, decision-making, the cybersecurity and compliance. I have been able to grow horizontally in many of these areas, depending on the needs, right? You have your product management, healthcare and therapy, education, training. All these areas are very human-based and very secure, right? So that, for example, there are things that are going to be completely removed, right? Because there's no longer need. But these specific human-centric roles are very bulletproof. And the agents, all right? Let's get down to the agents. And I had a presentation the other day with somebody very knowledgeable that was like, oh, an agent is like a chatbot. And I'm like, yes, one of those agents is like a chatbot. An agency, the actual concept of an agent is a smart helper that can hear, that can think and do things on its own. That's what an agent is. So when you have that basic foundation, then everything else grows from there, okay? So what are these agents, right? In business, how do we use these agents, right? So we have different kinds, right? We have the conversational agents, the autonomous agents, the AI and data science agents, agents in software development, financial and AI agents, robotic and automation agents, healthcare agents, productivity agents, cybersecurity agents, education and research. Why do we have to divide them into different areas? And believe it or not, it'll be a general, big, giant environment very soon, but we are dividing it because of the learning that these agents have to do, and it has to be very specific, and it takes time and it takes computing power, right? So, but what we're going to focus on is how you can use these agents for your survival, right? So yes, some of these agents are chatbots, like we're used for customer support, where your chat GPTs, your Watson assistants, you have your the voice assistants, your Alexa, your Google's assistants, and you have AI in call centers, which most of them are replacing the call center people, right? And those are your conversational AIs. You have your autonomous agents, your self-driving cars. Those are very specific to those things, right? And you have AI in logistics, in AI in smart cities for traffic management. All these agents are there, already mature. I wouldn't say the self-driving, to me, I'm an old-fashioned. I think I'm going to be driving till I'm old and I cannot see, but they're pretty mature from what started to what it is right now. And it's going to be very more mature in the next 5 years. It is what it is, right? That's why we're learning here. So AI for data science. This is what I focus on because I'm a database professional. We have agents that are doing cleaning, that are doing predictive analytics. I do volunteer for Latinas in Tech, and I am part of the Latinas in Tech Academy, which I show how to use AI for predictive analytics, right? I use very specific tools like Power BI. So we have AI in software development, right? And this is growing and growing faster than we think because of the need for engineering and software engineering and the lack of pool of professionals, right? It takes a professional 5 years to become what AI could potentially be done in a few hours, right? So is the need that is driving the 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 creation of these agents. Financial AI agents are very well tested and matured for fraud detection, for algorithm trading, and credit scoring. I started with AT&T back in 1996 as a credit analyst. I used to look at everybody's credit from the beginning to the end, and I had my own algorithm in my brain. Okay, this one doesn't have many late payment, and I would approve. This is me. I was AI back in 1996. Today, there's no need for me because I already have an algorithm that knows exactly what I was doing back in 1996. And this is just the progression of how AI eventually will take those jobs, right? So robotic and automation has been, for the last 10 years, we've been using RPA for replacing many jobs. That's why one of the reasons why I decided to speak and start showing and knocking on doors and going to all these nonprofits and saying, listen, the jobs are going to be gone by 2025. We need to prepare the people. And some people listen. Some people thought this woman is crazy, but it's okay. I'm still here and I'm still a little crazy. So I do believe, I'm crazy enough to believe that if we together join forces, we can prepare ourselves for this revolution, right? Because it is every industry brings a different revolution in a good way, right? This is the data and AI revolution. So welcome, by the way. I didn't know you knew, but welcome to the 4.0 revolution. So you have your robotic automations, AI in data warehousing, service robots. This is for robotics and automation, which eventually you'll see more coming in the next few months. You'll see a lot this year. Healthcare. Yeah, this is my best, or I would say where I believe we can help humanity. We can definitely see improvements in the quality of people living longer, people detecting diseases on time. So what are we going to talk today is not necessarily how do we save the world, how do we save ourselves, right? From not losing our jobs. And so what I wanted to do with you is talk about productivity of AI. Very simple tips to show you the things that we can do to help, right? And I personally like using Microsoft Copilot as my productivity agent. For people that are using other tools, it's okay. As long as you learn how to use the tools and you volunteer and say, you know what, I can learn this. It's not that difficult and it will help you and save you many hours, right? Let me give you just a little example here of somebody that I follow very well. This is how to use AI for Outlook. Like, for example, we can just find a good time this week to meet with Mr. Jonathan. I don't know. Or we can go and ask Copilot to tell me without me having to go and look for a specific person and see if they have time for me. I just ask Copilot and Copilot tells me, hey, this person is available on Thursday at 12, for example. These things just save me, I don't know, 30 minutes. Just asking Copilot these things. The beauty of using Copilot in your 365 offerings, by the way, you have to pay, it's $30, but so is ChatGPT, so is all these agents out there. But this is very unique to your environment and it's protected in your environment. If you have sensitive data or sensitive information, you can definitely help and use these tools for you. So I'm telling now AI to put a automatic message saying that I'm not going to be available until the 14th. So it's kind of like have your own little assistant, right? You can tell them, listen, I'm not going to be available until this day, right? Here's repeating it again, sorry. So this is Word here. I can have Copilot summarize this whole thing for me very quickly because I don't want to read it. So now it saved me 30 minutes or 15 minutes to summarize this whole thing, right? Another way of using Copilot is PowerPoint. I do this all the time. Like for this presentation, I just have a document and I say, Copilot, build me a PowerPoint presentation about something about Microsoft 365 benefits. And it goes and it creates it for me. Always, I have to validate that it's okay because it does suffer from some hallucinations. But that's why it's like my kid, right? I get to train it to do what I need it to do, right? Another good way to use Copilot is Excel, right? I want to create a graph showing me the sales from both Ben and Jacob, my salesman. And it goes and it creates it for me. All this is happening within seconds, maybe a minute. So you are saving yourself a lot of time, right? So that's just a little demo example of how you can use Copilot, right? Which is one of the many agents which you can start using right away, right? It's not, your company probably, they can afford $30, right? For you to use this tool. If not, then you have other agents, right? It's not the only one. And you can, tell your manager that this is something that is going to save you so much time. Once companies realize how beneficial it is for productivity, you start seeing more demand for these. Another agents are the cybersecurity agents. For this is very mature. I've been working with this for the last 10 years. And it's great. It's a great tool. It's a great agent. Education research is what's growing right now. And it's growing very strong. And I think recently we have approved now AI training in K-12 schools. And it's going to become very much our day-to-day, right? The United States needs to become AI literate very fast. And I just wanted to give you some strategies of what you can do today. Today, you're like, I have no idea. This is way overwhelming. I don't know how to code. I don't know anything about computing. Well, you don't have to, right? So there are tools out there that they can start building and creating and becoming a value added to your organization through tools like Power Apps, Honeycomb Code. You can start imagining things and how you can improve a process, and then you can use these low code. And with a few weeks of training, you can start building applications and doing things to help your organization, and that will help you grow and become the AI literate. Also, analytic tools such as Power BI and Tableau are not so hard to learn tools that in 6 months to a year, you can definitely pivot your career into an analytic role. Another thing is your CRM technologies. These technologies are very strong, very, very safe. We are building right now agents for each of these, which will help you. But knowing the fundamental of these CRMs will keep you employed. So as an application solution analyst. Data technologies, you can try any flavor of it. There's plenty of them, and there's always a need for that. I personally have been doing this for 2 decades, so I feel if you ever need any guidance, or I do coaching, by the way, for professionals that want to pivot into the area of technology, Gilda Alvarez at AI, and helping them point themselves for what is called upskilling. The infrastructure technologies that we are dealing with are your on-prem and your cloud technologies that are very, very well known. And if you are going to be into the engineering, this is a great area to jump in because it is highly demanding. The other thing that I recommend once you have years in the areas of data and AI, or in the engineering of artificial intelligence, is never forget to build your network and your personal brand. This is something that I learned really late in my career because I was always busy solving problems. It is what makes me happy at the end of the day. I'm here speaking about data and AI because it's a purpose driven, and I believe that we need to unite as a community to make sure we bring these careers and this the awareness of what's happening in the industry for us to grow as a community. But once you build your network and your personal branding, eventually I don't work for anybody because people know what I do and people feel comfortable hiring me to do consulting work. And you grow anywhere. You want to work for corporation, you want to work for yourself. It doesn't matter if they lay you off, you find a job, right? So it's a very strong cushion to have your personal branding in whatever area of expertise that you decide to go. So to summarize all this, there are many things that are going to happen in the next 5 years that is going to scare you. But remember, you know, you can't work with AI. Don't work against it. This is not about victimizing, okay? It's about learning. It's about adjusting to what's happening and learning how to be able to survive and thrive. Because once you have this knowledge, AI won't replace you. Somebody that knows how to use it will, okay? And may the force be with you, my friends. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer any questions.
Gilda, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. The insights were just amazing. To all of our attendees, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask them. Feel free to unmute yourself or submit them in the chat. Um, let's see here. Gilda, if I can just touch on one of the points right now, and I think this is a recurring topic in the conference, and that's really about how to utilize AI versus letting it kind of take over you and utilizing it as a productivity tool. So how important is that? I think people are like either they feel like it's too much of a gimmick and they're like, I don't really care about it. And then other people that are really for it. I think trying to find the right balance is the key. How do you go about doing that?
You have to program yourself, your learning platform. So let's say you are somebody that analyzes data, right? Analyzes information from the internet and has to copy and paste it somewhere else. And you can automate all this process and not have to work 8 hours. And now can work 1 hour. So it's going to help you be more productive. And once you can show how productive you are, you're going to be valuable to any organization.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of survival. It's not a matter of do I want to do it. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
The Industrial Revolution removed 94 farmers to 14%, 94% to 14%. Trust
Right.
me, they weren't liking it that they needed to go to a city and learn mechanical engineering and civil engineering. They were supposed to be farmers,
Yeah.
but they're not. They had to
Correct.
adjust, right?
Yeah. So, to all of our guests, any questions that you have, do you want to go ahead and chime in right now? Is a perfect time. You can unmute yourself or submit it in the chat.
So I posted in the chat the book on
Oh,
navigating the
perfect.
tech terrain.
Awesome.
So it's very specific on the data and AI. So what I brought there's two sides, right? So you
Mhm.
have your productivity AI tools and you
Right.
have your engineering and AI tools, which is a whole different thing, right?
Right.
So what I would guide you to do here is a lot easier than what I would guide you into AI engineering and AI ML,
Right.
right? So
Okay. So, to kind of paraphrase you a little bit, would you say that the most of the tools that people can use in general right now are really focused on automation, of redundant tasks versus kind of like replacing humans right now?
yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a recurring theme. I think that, for example, we do a lot of work in recruitment and career development. And so people are using resumes and, AI to develop resumes, but you still have to give it a human touch. You can't just let it do everything for you. I think there's a balance
Correct.
between the humanity and the AI portion of it and being productive. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wait another few seconds here. Okay. Here we got a question here from Sundar. Go ahead, Gelda.
For someone who's looking for entry-level jobs or careers that would do better to work towards new. So for those of you that are pivoting to data and AI, I always tell them something that is crucial for that pivot. It is a lot easier to bring your domain on whatever area you were in. Let's say you were in finance or supply management or some logistic, I don't know. You have a domain that makes you stronger than others. What you need to do is to adjust the AI tools to become stronger in that. I do not see people thriving when they decide, okay, I used to be a security guard and now I want to do AI engineering. It ain't gonna work, okay? You need to use what you already have, what you have grown to understand, the domain in the area of healthcare, security, whatever, and then leverage that into put some tools and then compete again, right? If you have the 4-year degree time to learn AI strategic and become, the product management, go for it. But many of us in the Latino community don't have time. I mean, we're too busy. So we don't have that luxury. We need to have what we have right now and enhance it so that we can compete and put ourselves back in the workforce and then get a job using these tools and then grow. That's how we usually do it.